Welcome to The Explainer. Look, today we are cutting right through the typical corporate buzzwords and PR statements. We're getting into the actual mechanics of what makes a modern workplace truly thrive. If you're looking to figure out the foundational elements that separate the real industry leaders from, well, companies that are just stuck spinning their wheels, you are in the exact right place. Let's get into it. So here's the million-dollar question, right? What is the actual secret to a highly innovative and productive team? I mean, we so often just default to thinking, oh, we just need to work longer hours, or we end up pouring tons of money into expensive new software. But the data, it points to something way more foundational. It turns out it's not just about grinding harder. It's about exactly who is doing the work and, crucially, how they are supported once they walk through your doors. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to use a really clear three-part framework today. First up, defining diversity and inclusion. Second, the strategic business advantages. And third, the actionable steps to actually promote inclusion. Section 1. Defining diversity and inclusion. The baseline. Before we can reap any of the benefits, we really have to establish a strong foundation by separating two concepts that get conflated all the time. Here is the fundamental difference. Diversity, that is simply the who. It's basically the raw data of your workforce, right? It's employing individuals from a wide range of backgrounds, ages, genders, faiths, physical abilities, the whole shebang. Inclusion, on the other hand, is the how. It is the degree to which an organization actually equips that specific diverse workforce to succeed. You can hire a perfectly diverse team, but if your environment doesn't allow them to safely share their ideas or advance, well, you aren't practicing inclusion. It's like that old saying, diversity is being invited to the party, but inclusion is actually being asked to dance. Moving on to Section 2, the strategic business advantages, building the business case. Let's shift gears here, can build some momentum, because we're talking about hard, strategic business facts now, not just, being nice. First up, heightened innovation and creativity. Picture a group of people in a boardroom who all share the exact same background and education. Guess what? They are going to reliably produce the exact same, completely predictable solutions. Homogeneous groups have massive blind spots. But when you build a team with vastly different life experiences and create a space where those perspectives can safely collide, wow. They actively generate novel, dynamic ideas that a uniform group would literally just never see. Next, we see improved productivity and performance. When an organization genuinely values diverse perspectives, it inevitably leads to healthier interpersonal relationships and a huge boost in morale. But honestly, it is also just highly practical. A diverse workforce brings a much wider toolkit to the table. You've got different problem-solving techniques, diverse technical backgrounds, unique ways of optimizing workflows. That broader toolkit means the team works more efficiently and produces significantly better quality output. It's a real game changer. Then there's the massive financial impact of better retention. Just think about the sheer cost of constant recruitment, onboarding, training. It is astronomically expensive. But organizations that genuinely embrace inclusive policies, they experience significantly lower attrition. It's just simple human nature, right? People don't leave environments where policies make them feel valued and heard. They stay where they can thrive, saving the company a ton of time and money in the long run. We also have enhanced customer growth and corporate image. Look, the modern market is incredibly diverse. Consumers actively look for, and more importantly, they trust brands that demonstrate genuine inclusivity. Plus, having a diverse team internally ensures that your marketing and product design accurately represent real demographics. You completely avoid those viral tone-deaf marketing blunders, and instead, you build products that naturally attract entirely new markets. Now, what's really interesting about this next point is that it's a big counterintuitive. You might assume a highly diverse team would struggle with communication, right? Actually, it's the exact opposite, because these teams can't just rely on assumed cultural shorthand, they are literally forced to practice clear, deliberate, and direct communication. Overcoming those cultural differences reduces costly errors and builds incredibly deep trust and engagement across the whole team. So let's summarize the compounding value here, because the contrast in outcomes is pretty stark. In a traditional homogeneous setup, innovation stagnates, turnover costs you a fortune, and communication suffers from assumed clarity. But shift to a fully inclusive workforce, you unlock heightened innovation, incredibly strong retention, and crystal clear communication that builds trust. So, the crucial point is, how do we actually do this? Section 3, Steps to Promote Inclusion, the Actionable Blueprint.
Cultivating this kind of environment doesn't just happen by accident. It requires deliberate structural and cultural steps. Here are the 6 steps an organization must follow chronologically: synchronizing goals, establishing dedicated management, sensitization, revising policies, fostering an accommodating climate, and finally, regular communication.
Let's walk through these. Step 1 is to synchronize goals. You can't fix what you haven't measured. Companies need to conduct diversity-focused surveys to align their initiatives right alongside their overarching business objectives. Step 2 is dedicated management. To make this real, you absolutely need a specialized department backed by full, unwavering executive support. That management team is essential to hold the business accountable and transition these initiatives from just a nice concept into a daily reality. Let's move on and see how this builds. Step 3 is sensitization and training, helping employees address unconscious biases and build cultural awareness. But listen, training without structural backup fails every time. That brings us to step 4, revising organizational policies. Real culture change requires strict updates to HR procedures. Hiring, performance reviews, and rewards must be strictly merit-driven, equitable, and completely unbiased. We finish the blueprint with an accommodating climate and regular communication. True inclusion means operational flexibility, things like flexible hours, religious accommodations, or ensuring complete physical accessibility. Management then has to pair this accommodating physical and cultural climate with transparent communication. You have to actively seek employee feedback on policy changes and address concerns promptly. That is what cements a real sense of ownership and trust. And this brilliantly illustrates our core mandate for today: transition diversity initiatives from a concept to reality. Look, having good intentions and a diverse hiring quota, it just isn't enough anymore. If you want the innovation, the retention, and the growth, your intent literally must be backed by strategic, structural, and continuous action. So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Take a hard look at your own workplace and ask yourself honestly, do you just have diversity, or are you actually practicing inclusion? Do you just have the who, or have you perfected the how? The tools to build a thriving, dynamic workplace are right in front of you. Now it's time to get to work building it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.